It's a brand new age for the BSR. No longer are we going to be held by the shackles with individual drivers. This one is a team event, and well, this is round one of a brand new championship. You've seen it in the World Touring Cars before, but this is the BSR Kia World Series round one from the Nurburgring. Jake Sparey in the commentary box, joined in a little bit's time by Roy Frost. But here, streaming live on iRacing Live here on Apex Racing TV. This is qualifying, and it has all just started off. And well, looking now at your number one machine, Jack McIntyre right now, the fastest man who went through practice, and well, he looks like he's going to be the yardstick to beat here is this driver. Of course, we've got at least 27 drivers with at least nine teams with them, and well, everything seems to be fine for the Bermuda driver at the moment. And well, heading himself through this right-hander, ready to start off his lap coming up this big hill section. We're going to take you on board with a lap of him and just see how he does one lap of this Nurburgring track, just to make sure that you, the viewers at home, know how this track is laid out today as he heads through this final chicane section, the left and then the right. He will have one corner to go before he starts his flying lap here around this Nurburgring GP course, around the Coca-Cola curve to start his flying lap down this long front straightaway he comes along. And well, his lap time is about to start right about now. So he is heading himself down towards turn number one. Now, we're not going to use the Mercedes section of the course. He's going to flick it right through turn number one and straight into turn two. It's a quick flick left before he hits the power back on again here in this Kia Optima. Of course, a little bit careful under cold tyres, so you expect the car to be quicker as he heads down this straight into this left-hander of three, and the forward curve will be the next corner of four as you brake down the hill, always trying to sucker you in this corner. And well, Jack McIntyre takes this one very nicely as he heads towards the 180-degree Dunlop hairpin, which, if you were in America, you'd call this a carousel, but no, you will call this one a hairpin here into the right-hander, hugging that apex tight as he now looks to release the throttle and hit the speed again. The Schumacher S's are going to be next on circuit, the left, and then it will be followed very swiftly by the right-hander. Of course, we've got 10 minutes of qualifying. There will be 7 minutes left now as he heads himself into this 90-degree left-hander, always wanting to throw you out wide. You cannot afford to run off onto the tarmac there on the right-hand side. Now in through the right-hander he comes along. Careful, mind the gravel. He runs a little bit wide on the curb, but he makes sure he gets everything sorted. It's clean, it's collective, up through the right-hander. We've already seen this chicane come up next, and well, he's going to flick himself through the left and the right, of course, using the first area of the chicane, so it's a lot tighter than the other chicane that's there. He'll have one corner to go. Jack McIntyre, let's see what time he will set as a benchmark. Well, one corner comes around, and Jack McIntyre will come across the line in a very short amount of time. Jack McIntyre does a 1:47.4 to open up accounts. Everything seems to be hunky-dory at the moment. So looking back down the times, and well, the times are coming in thick and fast. Let's look at the number 58 machine, Pete Newman. He's just come in fifth on a 1:49.8 at the moment. And well, we talk about these guys being arranged from newcomers to professionals, and this is going to be a real challenge for everyone as the times keep tumbling further and further down. Everything seems to be sorted at the moment. So let's just take a look at a car who hasn't set a lap time as of yet, and the number 29 car comes into mind, and that's Diogo Melro at the moment, heading himself up to the chicane at the moment, and it seems that he's got everything that he needs to do. Let's just listen into his engine sound right now as he heads for the final corner. Seems that Diogo Mera did not set a lap time that time by. Maybe he had a corner cut penalty or something like that, invalidating his lap time. But we will switch to the number 15 machine of Cesare Rizzo right now, and I am joined in the commentary box now by Roy Frost. Roy, this is a really interesting dynamic. Of course, this is the first of 3 races. After this, qualifying is important for race 1, but for races 2 and 3, the grid gets reversed. How does that change the mentality for these drivers when they come to qualifying?
I wouldn't have thought it changes it too much really on the first race. You want to get the points in the bag on that first race, so you just qualify, get as high up as you can, get those points as quickly as possible, deal with the reverse grid and what it throws at you later, I suppose.
Yes, of course. Now, a driver that we do need to go and mention here is the 61 machine. This is Ashley Blake Hood. He is an independence driver for this race today, so he does not have any affiliation with any team so far in regards to the Constructors' Championship right now. Times are tumbling all the time, but your top 3 at the moment is Jack McIntyre, who has a 7/10 lead over Nathaniel Simpson there in second, and Alex Everett will be third at the moment. Let's just switch down the field now and look at your 2-4-6 machine. This is Jörg Dankert right now, who is heading himself down towards the Dunlop hairpin, if I find myself correct, 11th position at the moment. So, Roy, a question I pose to you. You've got about 4 minutes, 3.5 left in the session, and for many drivers, it is a struggle to try and get everything sorted out. So, what would you do in this situation? Are you going to be looking to try and just make a conservative lap time, make sure you have a position which is general to work, or are you going to go flat out and risk having your lap time invalidated?
Well, I think there's certainly time for 2 or 3 laps that could count, so get one in the bag, maybe slightly careful, just make sure you've got one on the table, and then really push for a second one. And if it doesn't work out, if you get any issues and incidents, don't quite get the right time on the second one, it's not so bad. At least you've got yourself somewhere up the grid for that start.
Yes, of course, we have 22 drivers who are ready to set qualifying laps. 20 have set a lap at the moment. We're just going to stay with Jörg Dankert right now as he heads around the final corner to see if he improves his lap time. He is on a 1:49.9 at the moment. Will he go any quicker? Your answer is no. He only does a 1:50.6, so he'll stay in 12th position right now. Let's switch over to the 27 machine of Craig McLeod Evans right now, who has not set a lap time that time by heading himself into 1 and 2. And Roy, this 1 and 2 section is a very tight corner here. It's a slow right-hander into an even slower left-hander, getting tighter and tighter. Just what are the challenges on this Nurburgring course today?
Well, the first challenge before those 2 corners is not missing your braking point and just going straight off at the end of that straight, because obviously you're pretty much at the highest speed that you reach anywhere around the circuit. And then the line through those 2 corners is absolutely critical, so that you don't just lose an absolute hatful of time, which is so easy to do there. And early in the first race, the cold tyres are going to make that very critical, but in qualifying, not so much, as long as someone doesn't get in the way. And at the moment, everyone seems to have a bit of space to work with.
Yes, they do. Looking now at Nathaniel Simpson in the number 8 machine, second in qualifying at the moment. And, well, it just looks like he's backing off a lap there at the moment. So we'll switch to the car ahead of him, which is the 14 machine of Lorne Murray right now, heading himself through this 90-degree left-hander off camera. And, oh, he gets very twitchy there. Bit of a slide coming out of that Kia. And, well, you can argue this car does go faster than what you'd see in a British touring car as he passes the DRS sign. No DRS in these Kia Optimas. He heads through this small kink right, heading up towards this chicane. Lorne Murray is down, surprisingly, in 11th place on a 1:49.8 right now. This is really your benchmark, looking to find out your times. Half a minute to go to cross the line to set a lap. Lorne Murray might be just one of the drivers looking to improve on his last effort. Well, we'll see if there are any changes up and down your grid at the moment, but it doesn't look like there's really too much going on. Lorne Murray crosses the line, does not go any quicker. That will be the end of him. Nathaniel Simpson, no, he doesn't go any quicker. Does anybody else have a lap time in the final 10 seconds? Stephen Hall, well, he's up in 7th at the moment, and, well, 5 seconds to go. Will Stephen Baxter make his lap time in the 11 machine? Answer to that one is, well, I don't quite think he has, but he goes up to 8th on a 1:49.2. Qualifying's over. Here are your results then for that one. And so Jack McIntyre will take pole position on a 1:47.4 lap time. It is Nathaniel Simpson who will put himself second at the moment. Pete Newman is in third on a 1:48.2. I believe drivers are still setting lap times, which means that I am incorrect in saying that that is the end of that. They will have one chance to finish their lap times if I'm correct, and I think most of the field has gone and finished a lap time right now. Looking at Cesario Rizzo, and well, he goes and bins his car there, does Cesario Rizzo there, Roy. And well, it's an interesting start coming into this race because, well, there's still a lot of nerves that you got. It's a brand new series. You're waiting for the lights to come on. Just how important is it just to get that clean start and make sure you settle into this rhythm in this race?
I think it's absolutely crucial. Looking at the qualifying there, the guys at the top, some of them you'd expect to be there. They're also in the other series in the Kia that are broadcast, and that we know of them as high quality drivers. But for some of the guys, they're new to racing in a league series, full on, and they really do need to settle in and be calm. Just get started and try not to throw it off on the first corner. Really is the key thing.
Yes, absolutely. I have to agree with you there. Just looking at Jack McIntyre right now in the one car, he knows at the moment that he thinks he has pole position sorted out, and it does take a real stellar lap to put yourself 0.7 of a second faster than anyone else on the circuit. So, second attempt, we will try and get qualifying results for you. McIntyre on pole then from Simpson, second row. Pete Newman in the 58 with Alex Everett there in fourth position. Ashley Blake Hood, the independent, he is fifth in the 61 machine with Adam Hadfield in the 62 machine for the Team Shimru team there in sixth. Zach Reinker will find himself seventh with Stephen Hall eighth. Stephen Baxter finds himself ninth with Craig McLeod-Evans there in 10th position. Klaus Pettersson there in 11th with Diogo Melro in 12th in the 29 machine. Lorne Murray there on row 7 on a 1:49.8 lap with Jörg Danker on a 1:49.9. Cesario Rizzo will be on row number 8 with a 1:50 flat. Kip Stevens will join him from Team Bermuda. Wolfgang Koch there is on in 17th. Max Wright 18th. Rick Scott 19th. Colin McAllister 20th, and Kenneth Wallace 21st. Three drivers have not set a lap time: Roy Vervaker, Norbert Kovacs, and Sifra Gabor. So, just waiting for drivers to grid up. And Roy, do you have any suggestions on who's going to win this race very quickly?
If he can get away and not get in any trouble on that first corner, his lap times say that Jack McIntyre is nailed on for this one. Kia Racing never quite goes that way though, from what I've seen. There's a couple of other guys, Pete Newman maybe might be there with him, but yeah, Jack McIntyre has to be favourite.
Nice. The cars are gridding up as we speak at the moment. Many a driver just waiting to put himself on, and there you can see Jack McIntyre on pole with Nathaniel Simpson for company with him. Just waiting on a couple more drivers to grid up for you, and then this race will be underway. It is 3 sets of 20-minute races that we will be racing in order to determine who will take the advantage heading into the next races. Of course, across all 13 weeks, we will be 12 race calendars we will find here on iRacing Live, on Apex Racing TV. Engines are being revved up and revved down, and we are just waiting for these lights. In a second, just waiting for the final few cars to grid up. For example, Pete Newman still not on the grid. They're in third position. Yep, there he goes. He's put himself onto the grid. Just waiting now for some lights. I am correct in saying just not really too long we're waiting for. So just take your breaths, boys. This is all going to be the start of a 13-week adventure. You can hear just engines revving in the around the pack. Engines are up. We are waiting to go green. And the answer is... we are underway for the start, the first of 36 races in this season. And already, it's been a fantastic start for Pete Newman. He looks like he's almost jumped the leader into turn number 1? And answer is yes, he has. A fantastic start from Pete Newman, who gets around Alex Everett from row 2 as well. He puts himself up to second. It's been a poor start for Nathaniel Simpson, Jack McIntyre, and already we have a breakaway of 4 as Craig McLeod Evans will look to try and defend from Ashley Blake Hood behind. But already we're seeing a car going off there, and that is Adam Hadfield there into turn number 3. The 62 machine there getting things a little bit wrong, but already, Roy, we've had a fantastic start and one that we didn't quite expect.
Absolutely. Jake McIntyre didn't get to that first turn first. Oh, we've got someone off. Oh, we've got a few off there.
And it looks like we've got a multi-car pileup there, and it seems that a car involved was Ashley Blake Hood in that one. We will try and source a replay for you later on. Probably won't, but it seems that we've had a bit of contact there with a few drivers, not exactly what they want. Cesario Rizzo involved in that one. He is now making sure that he's off track and away. So the diversified field now has completely changed, and this has formed a gap all throughout your mid-pack, which is exactly what you do not want to see. So just on a quick review, I can tell you exactly how this incident managed to turn up into prospects here. And well, just heading themselves down in, it looks like it was contact even before the corner was made, and it was spearing across the track, which caused everything to happen. But looking now at this battle at the front, this is the battle for second place right now between Everett, McIntyre and Simpson. They're looking to go all around. 1 lap completed here out of a few laps of be racing, 20 minutes racing, of course. McIntyre trying to go to the outside, and it's not going to quite look. So Roy, very eventful start. How will this affect the drivers in the mid-pack? They need to get their focus sorted.
Yeah, they sure do. Things were already going a bit sideways in the turn before they headed down into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill, so there was a kind of precursor to what happened with the accident down there. The front 4 are away. The middle order really need to regroup and try and catch up with these front guys.
Yes, they do. It seems that we do have a couple of cars who have dropped a mile off the back. Roy Viveka in the 57, Kenneth Wallace in the 66 machine. But we're going to stay on this battle here at the front of your field, because Jack McIntyre will want to find a way past Alex Everett in the Simru team there right now. McIntyre all over the back of that gearbox at the moment, looking to try and find a way through. Moves his nose, but does not get it sorted and gets a little bit of oversteer, I think. They're trying to get into the corner. That wasn't perfect on his half, but crucially enough, though, Pete Newman is not getting way out of all of it. And it looks like Alex Everett's had a poor exit, because side by side they're going to come along here. It's going to be Alex Everett versus Jack McIntyre, and McIntyre will have to stay on the outside of the circuit there to try and make sure that he doesn't make the move. Answer to that one is no, he can't get that one sorted at the moment, but they're all bunched up once again, Roy. And well, this is a fantastic bit of scrapping that's going on here as we look, and a big look there from Nathaniel Simpson behind. Yeah,
great racing up at the front, nose to tail through the chicane there, back around the hairpin into the start finish straight. So looking great up front.
Oh yes, absolutely. Still this battle is going on, and McIntyre will go to the inside in turn number 1, breaks a little bit earlier there, doesn't want to risk anything early on. This is early points that you can get. Let's just look back down your field, and the battle I am looking at now is with the number 7 machine. This is Klaus Pettersson, who has for company behind him Ashley Blake Hood, and oh, they were so close into turn number 1. Into turn number 2 they will come along, and they are running nose to tail, almost bump drafting their way down this front straightaway. Well, down this straightaway, heading towards turn number 3. To the outside goes Ashley Blake Hood, but no, he won't make the move sorted just yet. And well, Roy, you have to say, these battles in the middle of the pack, they might have lost contact with a couple of drivers, but this has allowed a couple of cars to gain an immense advantage early on in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we've got trouble in that hairpin at the bottom of the hill again. The battle you were just watching with Blake Hood there. Oh, he's pushed Klaus Peterson off the track pretty much.
Oh, well, that was a bit of a shaky moment there for Klaus Peterson there. He got pushed a little bit wide and then had to deal with Lorne Murray coming on along behind him. So a lot of things going on that isn't good. Of course, Ashley Blake Hood qualified 5th on the grid for this opening race, which has not done him any favours in the opening lap incident, pushing him down 7 places. But your biggest mover and shaker in the grid right now is Craig McLeod Evans in the number 27 machine. He is up into fifth position. I say fourth because Nathaniel Simpson now is having to defend because it looks like he's made a mistake down into the chicane there, Roy. And well, you talk about harsh slowdown penalties, and now he'll be what's known as the sitting duck down this opening straightaway.
Absolutely. I didn't catch it fully, but through that chicane there's an escape road. The front four split 2 by 2. A pair of them must have had slowdown penalties when they went to the right down the escape road. The other two are away and clear in front, 1 and 2 in the race now.
Yes, and I've just seen some contact with Zach Reinke there running into the back of Craig McLeod Evans there at a moment. This will allow Stephen Hall and Diogo Melro to have a little bit of a ding-dong behind them, and it looks like Diogo Melro for that Discovery team is going to try and have a little look. No, not going to quite have it at the moment. So, by the looks of things, it's a 2-car pack at the front. The 58 machine we will now focus on, because that is your leader at the moment. Pete Newman is out ahead of the 10 machine of Alex Everett at the moment. So, heading through the Schumacher S, they will come along. It looks like Alex Everett running himself a little bit wide there through that corner. Just got to be careful when placing your car through corners like that. And well, now you have this 2-car pack. Now you can play this game of cat and mouse. Is it advantage Everett here, Roy? Or is it Pete Newman to try and break away?
Looking at the gap at the moment, Newman's looking quite strong there. Everett's almost got free air though, so if he can get his speed up, he should be able to catch Newman. Could go either way.
Yes, it could. And looking back down your field, back to the 412 machine of Zach Reinke there for the USA team. Into this chicane they come along with just 1 corner to go afterwards, and well, it's looking all right for him, but just behind it seems that Stephen Hall and Diogo Melro, well, they're still going to be nose to tail. And you talk about these slipstream trains that do seem to form from time to time, and well, that's exactly what's happening here. There's not really too much advantage being stuck in the other guy's slipstream because you have the slipstream ahead of you. That is going to be a benefactor. Gap at the front of your race is 1 second as Melro has a big look up the inside but doesn't get anything sorted that time by. But now Zach Reinke now we will focus on, because he'll go side by side with Craig McLeod Evans right now as they head into turn number 3. It looks like he might try and go around the outside here with McLeod Evans, but the answer is yes, he'll still hold on and go for it into the right-hander of Ford curve. And well, it looks like he might just have it sorted. The right-hander is his advantage next, but they're going to remain side by side still. This is great battling. This will be the 3rd corner they've gone side by side. 180 degree rights as they come in. And well, it looks like McLeod Evans has managed to sort that one out very nicely, Roy.
Yeah, great driving through the hairpin at the bottom of the hill there, where we've seen so many incidents up to now. 4 cars straight through, nose to tail. Really, really good racing there.
Yes, absolutely. And now looking at this battle, you got the likes of Stephen Hall trying to make his way through for the Shimru team. Into the left-hander they come along. No move there. 4 different teams there within 1 second of each other. This is how close the race will get along. And they can see Reinke running himself a bit wide. This will allow Hall now to try and usurp a bit of an advantage here coming up down this straight at the moment. And well, it seems that everything is trying to be hunky-dory at the moment. Into the left, right they will come along, and well, not too much going on that time by. Everything seems to be going okay there, Roy.
Yeah, the biggest gainer from all this battling is Nathaniel Simpson. I think he'd suffered the worst from the front 4 when they split through the chicane earlier. That group of 4 behind had dragged him right in, and he was having to defend against them. Now he's away in clear space, and this 4 are having a real ding-dong.
Oh yes, absolutely, finding themselves side by side then as they come into turn number 1. Has it all sorted itself out? Well, not quite at the moment, because Reinke will have the inside line, and he does sort the move out very comfortably there on Stephen Hall at the moment. Let's just look back down the field. It looks like Jack McIntyre here in the number 1 has caught Alex Everett up. Brilliant work on his part. He will now try and look to put himself through into turn number 2 at the moment. And well, they both run a little bit wide, but everything seems to be okay at the moment there, Roy.
Yep, all looking good. Newman getting clear out front though. Whatever battling's going on between 2 and 3, that's letting him get well away.
Oh yes, absolutely. I do have to agree with you there. and the gap between the front two is 1.5 seconds at the moment. And now McIntyre will want a piece of the action there, trying to go around the outside. Didn't quite work that time by, but now he'll have the advantage of slipstream down this straight as he'll move now to this inside. Nope, not quite this time by. Still trying to look to try and get that slipstream sorted. It's going to be a battle of the brakes, you'll have to say, with these two cars. And well, and into the chicane they'll come along. Will anything happen between them? Answer to that one is no, not at all. So still quite a lot of battling going on down your field, and the 412 machine take us through it then for you then, Roy Frost.
Yeah, up front, Newman about to cross the line for another lap there, up in first place. Everett and Simpson second and fourth.
Everything seemingly going okay at the moment at the front. So we will look to the 58 of Pete Newman, who is trying to get away, but we will instantly switch back and still look at this battle between Alex Everett and Jack McIntyre. Didn't quite get it sorted that time, McIntyre. And well, you talk about race 2, you talk about the advantage of maybe having an instant early on, because that means that you can just change things up for round 2. You can have the lead into lap 1, and well, it's a whole dynamic. You've got the quick guys trying to fight through the slow through the quick, as Alex Everett now having to try and go defensive, and it doesn't seem to have worked because it's not quite on the outside. Now you find Jack McIntyre, and Alex Everett seems to have got that one sorted very comfortably, but they're still side by side, Roy.
Yep, and I think McIntyre is actually through there now.
Yes, I do stand corrected there. Jack McIntyre now up into second place. He has hemorrhaged the gap, though, to Pete Newman, and with not too long left in this race, we are about halfway through this 20-minute session, and well, all this battling is still to be had, still to go on ahead. This is everything that you will want to see, and a little bit more, because now you're seeing these cars all flying around, all trying to jostle for position now, and now it will be chance for McIntyre to break away just a moment's time. So the pack seems to start to spread it out a little bit, but a car I need to focus on is the number 14 machine of Lorne Murray right now. He finds himself behind Klaus Pettersson at the moment as they head down into the chicane. They will come along, not anything doing this time by. But Roy, you have to say, for these cars in the mid-pack, they'll stay mid-pack though, and that's going to be a problem for them as they try and go a few laps later on into this event.
Yeah, everyone seems to be racing quite consistently from front to back. There are little battles going on all the way through the field. It's very entertaining. Oh, we've got someone almost hit the tyre wall coming into turn 2 there. That could have been interesting.
Yes, it could.
McLeod Evans, I think it was.
Well, if it is McLeod Evans, then he will have to be careful, because he is in 5th position at the moment, and he's leading this train of 4 right now as they head towards the right-hander then of Ford Curve at the moment. Everything's still not exactly ideal for these drivers, but McLeod Evans there starts to get away from Reinke. Reinke now having to deal with Melro there behind him. This is the difficulty that is going on at the moment. Into the right-hander, they have just come along, and well, nothing doing here at the moment, Roy, but this is the battle to look out for the lower half of your top 10.
Certainly is, and the more these guys battle in that group of 4, it gives a chance for Blake Hood and Kip Stevens, who are not that far behind them, to catch up. We could have a group of 6 before too long.
Yes, we could, and a driver we haven't really talked about much, Kip Stevens, in the number 5 machine for Bermuda. He's not really had too much of a fantastic race. He started 16th, he's now up to 10th, so he's gained 6 positions so far on circuit at the moment, and we will keep on this battle up ahead though with McLeod Evans and Zach Reinke there alongside with Diogo Melro and Stephen Hall, if I'm correct, and well, move into the final corner if I'm correct there, because it looks like Zach Reinke trying to get through on Craig McLeod Evans. They are going to be side by side then down the front straightaway heading towards turn number 1, but it looks just for a moment that McLeod Evans has got the better exit, and he is out and away.
He sure is. I was a little worried that he might have tried to take that turn 1 too tight there. Slightly defensive move, moving to the right hand side on the straight, but that group of 4 have opened out slightly and he's away at the moment. McLeod Evans, it's looking good for him there.
Yes, he is at the moment, and I've seen him a couple of times do this, but to note at the front, the gap has increased again. It is 3 seconds between Newman and McIntyre right now, and I think that is a resignation of I cannot catch you. But we are going to stay with this battle here, because it seems that Stephen Hall has just dropped off a little bit here in this trainer for looking at Diogo Melro right now, who is still trying to hound the back of the USA car of Zach Reinker ahead of him. Still a lot to play for up and down your field, and it looks like we have had an instance somewhere along that we haven't caught of Adam Hadfield, which is a shame for him. He qualified 6th, and well, he's just dropped himself down the order right now. So still looking at this battle here as they head through the right-hander, heading up towards this back straightaway. And well, how important is the slipstream in these Kias, Roy, just to get them this small advantage?
It's very important, especially down the straight. Not so crucial with our front 4 at the moment because they've spread out quite a bit, but part of what keeps the groups of 4 and 5 that we've seen racing nose to tail in those groups is the fact that the guys behind the front one in the group just get pulled along.
Yes, they do, and to note that Ashley Blake Hood now onto the back of this group of 4. We do not have that long left before the end of your opening race here today on Apex Racing TV, on iRacing Live. And well, seeing that Adam Hadfield had a bit of damage on it. Oh, it looks like we got Stephen Hall off at turn number 1 there. What a shame for him. He was running so well. And well, he's going to have to look at that one and think, well, I had an opportunity for a top 5 finish, and that one didn't quite work out, Roy.
No, it didn't work out for him at all. The whole group had got past Hadfield, who you mentioned had had an accident. He was coming out of the pits. It looked like he might get involved with them. They all missed him. Paul just threw himself off the track.
Oh, there, that is a shame for him. But looking at this battle still, we are focusing on this one because this is the closest one we have up and down your field at the moment. And we are back to 4 again, but not the 4 that you'd expect, because now McLeod Evans will have to play the defensive game once again. Through the Schumacher S, they will come along. And well, for the moment, it seems that Reinker wants a piece of the action. He wants to get on the back. We do not have that long left in your session right now, and that is paramount when you're trying to make moves, because desperation will start to kick in. People will start making rash decisions at the wrong possible time, and that is the last thing that anybody will be wanting to do in your top 10 at the moment. And as we say that, Reinker looking at the outside.
Sorry, Jacob, up front. Mistake from Newman.
And well, we will go straight up to the front because Pete Newman's made a mistake, and this has allowed McIntyre to close up. And this is your battle for the race lead at the moment. And you can see they're going to be side by side, but no, Newman has the overspeed advantage into turn 1 and 2. This is not over by any stretch of your imagination. And with just a couple of minutes left, this could be the final lap of your race. And well, there you can see going for it in turn 2. They get so close. They do touch, but nothing comes of it. McIntyre will be forced to stay behind here. And well, Roy, we have talked about this, the game of cat and mouse, and now it is firmly set because Newman, after making that mistake, well, has the red mist surely descended?
Possibly. We were concentrating on the group of 4 behind the leaders. Did notice some smoke every now and again from Newman, the odd points that I'd seen him, and it was going into that last chicane before the final hairpin. He was very slow coming out of it. That's where I caught him, and McIntyre was right on him through that section again this time. If Newman's tyres are going, this could be really, really tight for the finish.
Yes, it really could. This is the battle that we want to see. This is the battle for your race lead right now. Into the left-hander, he will come along. Not anything doing this time by for McIntyre, but he will try and find that weakness. Try and exploit the weakness up the top of the hill. We know it's there with Pete Newman at the moment, so maybe McIntyre will be banking on a move here down into it, but it doesn't look like he's quite close enough at the moment here on Pete Newman, who will have the disadvantage of not having slipstream. The sitting duck, as we say, into the chicane. He will come along, and it seems all neat and tidy this time by around. So, question is, are we going to have one more lap of racing? I doubt that we will. So, through the final corner, they will come along, and well, it has been a little bit more exciting than you thought it would be, but it seems that we will have one more revolution of this Nurburgring GP circuit in your final final lap of this opening race of the season. And well, Newman and McIntyre, these two are going to be nose to tail. But to note behind, Everett and Simpson have caught themselves up to each other once again. So, looking back at McIntyre at the moment, he will look to try and get through Pete Newman in turn number 3. No, not this time by. Not this time by. Turn 4, the Ford curve. He'll go to the outside, trying to make a move stick. But it's so long, it's more than 90 degrees right there. It's so difficult to stick it round the outside, and no, he won't do it this time by. I doubt he will. Into the Dunlop hairpin, but I don't think he's got it. He'll try and go to the outside, try and run the wide line, but no, it's not worked again. He's just looking for an opportunity, staking out his opponent. He's right over the back there. Great exit speed there from Jack McIntyre, trying to go around the outside at the Schumacher S, but that's forced him a little bit wide there, Pete Newman, and he's going to go careful because they're going to go side by side into this left-hander. What an enthralling end to this opening race of this season. And well, it's all to play for still. McIntyre trying to go around the outside, and he's going to try and do it. And has he done it? Well, they're side by side still. Oh my word, this is stunning. And it looks like McIntyre might have the inside line for the chicane. It will be the last big opportunity, and Newman, you have to think, has to hold on to it. And well, into the chicane they will come along, and well, McIntyre gets it sorted, but go for the overcut. Round the outside, Newman. Brilliant work, and he sorts it out, and the slowdown penalty will make sure it sorts McIntyre out into the final corner. He will come along. Pete Newman, I think, will come along to win this one very handsomely. It looked like he blew his engine there in the final parts of that one. So, whew, what a race we have had there. Alex Everett will finish in 3rd position. Nathaniel Simpson also having problems there in 4th. The battle for 5th, though, it's Blake Hood, Reinke, Stevens, and Hall. So something's happened to Craig McLeod-Evans whilst we were looking away. Lorne Murray there in finishing in 9th position. What a race there. What a final lap as well there, Roy.
A fantastic finish. We missed on camera probably 3rd and 4th got into each other as well while all the excitement was going on with the front two. Simpson dropped back a bit, but that side-by-side racing for the last few turns of that race after the front few had actually separated. Brilliant finish.
Oh yes, I do have to agree with you there. It looked like Diogo Melro also didn't quite get everything sorted on his behalf either. Looks like he was involved in an incident as well. Maybe the two collided, and that's what caused the incident to occur. We don't quite know exactly what's happened with that, but most of your cars have crossed the line at the moment, just waiting for the final few to go along. The small battle here, Roy Vervaeke and Colin McAllister. It looks like Vervaeke will try and make his way through. Answer to that one is, well, McAllister just squeezing it out by 1/1000th of a second over the line. Brilliant racing there. But with all that said and done, here are your final results for race 1 of this one. So, Pete Newman will come away with a memorable win over Jack McIntyre to open the season up. Alex Everett will find himself 3rd, with Nathaniel Simpson 4th. Ashley Blake Hood, the independent, started 5th. Great recovery drive from him to finish 5th, with Zach Reinke 6th. Kip Stevens there for Bermuda in 7th, your highest mover and shaker, up 9 positions so far, with Stephen Hall there rounding out in 8th. Lorne Murray 9th, with Klaus Pettersson 10th. Craig McLeod-Evans there, not the best race for him. He only finishes 11th. Max Wright, understated name, up 6 places in 12th. Danker 13th, with Wolfgang Koch there in 14th position. And then just cycling through Cesario Rizzo, Rick Scott, Colin McAllister, Roy Vervaeke, Stephen Baxter, Kenneth Wallace, Diogo Melro, Adam Hadfield, Norbert Kovacs, and Sifra Gabor. So, that's been race 1. We're just going to run a few adverts for you. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time, and we will have discussion of the first race, and as well as the start of race number 2.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's gonna be into stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT Series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA.
Welcome back then to the BSR Kia World Series. We are here at the Nurburgring GP, and well, we are just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second race. Of course, Pete Newman has won the first one, and we are going to go with a complete reverse grid this time around for another 20 minutes of fantastic racing here. And well, it's going to be a tough one, I think. I think it's going to be one that's going to be a little bit difficult, a little bit different, because these drivers now have to adjust to the new reverse grid. The quick guys are now going to have to try and pass through the slower guys, and vice versa. The slow guys will have to try and defend from the quick guys. So, Roy, with just 2 minutes left before these cars start to grid up for the second race, just exactly what is the challenge for these drivers who didn't quite have the best race early on?
The big challenge is just to be careful on that first lap or two. Obviously, there'll be an adrenaline rush for someone who's not competed that well the last time, and they've been at the back of the field. Now they're up at the front. There's a chance to do better the second time round, but you could easily throw it away. Cold tyres on these cars, they're notoriously difficult to control. Calmness first couple of laps, absolutely crucial in this race.
Yes, and we do apologise for the long delay we had between the end of our first race and the start of the second race here today. It's just a technical issue that we've been having, and we hope that we have resolved it. But with everything said and done, it's all going to be very interesting to work out who exactly has the biggest advantage in the field. And well, what I have to say is, if a driver's had an incident and has shuffled himself down the order, you look at Craig McLeod-Evans in the number 13 machine, who's had an incident in the final 2 laps. He was up in 5th. He now finds himself back in the mid-pack again, and that gives him an advantage over the guys he was fighting with, because now he can go through the slower drivers and actually sight his way up the field faster than quite a few others.
Yep, absolutely. The only problem he might have is that he's got to make use of that early on, because the guys right at the back are obviously the quickest, and if he doesn't make use of the opportunity he's given, they'll be all over him before he knows it.
Yes, I do have to agree with you there, and we did have some very exciting racing, a few last lap battles throughout the field. The likes of Pete Newman, your winner. We will get an interview with him after this race, and well, another driver who was really close was of course Jack McIntyre himself. So, with all that being said and done, practice is over for these guys, and it'll be all down to race number 2 as we wait for these cars to grid up. We have 2 minutes approximately to wait before we start our second race here in the BSR Worlds. Of course, we are streaming live on iRacing Live, of course, a broadcast by Apex Racing TV, sponsored by Crest Glazing for all your double glazing window needs, of course, up in the top of Scotland. So, with all that working out, here is your grid for this second race of the night. It'll be Norbert Kovacs who will have pole position then from Adam Hadfield in the number 62 car. Diogo Melro, after a poor showing, will start 3rd on the grid with Kenneth Wallace alongside him. Stephen Baxter will be 4th with, well, Stephen Baxter 5th even with Roy Viveka there in 6th. It's Colin McAllister 7th with Rick Scott alongside him. Cesario Rizzo will be 8th, and 9th will be Joe Danker. And as I get interrupted, the green light is on and we are underway. Second race of the night, and it seems that Norbert Kovacs has got an okay start compared to Adam Hadfield into turn number 1. Will everyone be hunky-dory in? No, we already have contact with one of the cars, and well, I don't quite know who it was for you. I believe that was Kenneth Wallace, and they're going to bottleneck up 2 and 3 wide behind him. Yep, Kenneth Wallace spins his car around and he heads straight to the back of the field. So, not everyone escaping unharmed at the moment, but it is the 79 of Norbert Kovacs who seems to have drama, as we do have more drama, cars getting involved left and right and getting a little bit shaky, a little bit tentative. They just need to calm down that little bit there, Roy, because it's been a very aggressive start from many drivers.
Absolutely. We lost someone on the straight. I wasn't quite sure who it was before they'd even hit the turn, and then there were 4 and 5 wide in places through that right-left chicane at the end of the first straight. Exactly the opposite of the calm first 2 laps that we were hoping they'd be able to put in there.
Yes, we are, and it looks like Norbert Kovacs is dropping down the field like a stone, because he has the likes of Lorne Murray side by side alongside with him here, the number 14 machine, into this left-hander. They will come along, and well, they're going to be side by side, and Lorne Murray's going to go wide. He's going to half spin, and he's going to just avoid everyone else. Brilliant work from Lorne Murray to avoid all that. Unfortunate about the spin. This allows everyone to file up through, and we're just going to look up your field at the moment, because it's Adam Hadfield in the 62's got away, and the biggest mover and shaker up in your grid at the moment, Roy Vervaeke, is up into second position, getting it all horribly wrong there into the chicane. A driver who we wouldn't expect to be up in third, Craig McLeod-Evans, up to third from 12th. 9 positions in 1 lap, Roy.
Yeah, incredible. Alex Everett had made up a massive amount of places there as well, and then got a slowdown through the chicane coming back into the start-finish straight before the hairpin there. Really unfortunate for him.
Yes,
I think he was up into 8th or 9th or something already, but blew it.
No, he's all the way back down in 18th position right now, and he's having to deal with the car ahead of him being Norbert Kovacs, and there is contact ahead of them, because that is Citra Gabor alongside with, I believe, Max Wright as well. There, an unfortunate incident which has forced cars to go wide. It seems that Stefan Hall's been involved in something as well. So, down at the back of the field, we've had a few incidents. Kip Stevens involved in something as well. But we will go back up to the number 15 machine of Cesare Rizzo right now in that Discovery car, looking himself round the Dunlop hairpin at the moment. And well, he's in a world of his own right now. So we'll just look at what's going on ahead with Diogo Melro, his counterpart teammate, and looking up ahead of him, running wide there, Roy Vervaeke there, Roy.
Yep. Bit of a twitch. Oh, and again on the next corner, some tyre smoke there.
Oh, well, everything's starting to kick up at the moment. And for Roy Vervaeke, he's going to have to be careful, because McLeod-Evans is going to try and go for it around the outside, possibly. I don't think he's quite close enough this time by, but this is your battle for second place on the circuit at the moment. We've had a very hectic opening 2 laps, and well, it's all worked out in the favour of Adam Hadfield in the 62. And well, oh no, McLeod-Evans getting caught out there on the curb. It's so unforgiving. He gets a slowdown, and that's his advantage for Vervaeke.
Carnage in the chicane behind him there.
Oh well, we've seen quite a few incidents there, and cars running themselves up and over the curbs and what have you. We're just going to get a rundown of everything that's going on, because we've got Zach Reinke running a little bit slow. We've got cars pulling off into pit lane as we speak. Ashley Blake Hood, the independent driver, looks like he's going to go and repair some damage as well. So, we haven't had everything our own way at the moment, and our field has just started to splinter back down. And looking at Alex Everett now, he's made 7 positions up in that last lap, and he'll be looking to try and get through on Jurg Danker, and I think he just managed to do it there in that Welsh red car, which I incorrectly pronounced the name of, and I do apologise when I do. So, Alex Everett now up to 10th position, Roy.
Indeed, and in fact ahead of him, the next 3 places are front 4 from the last race, so they've all got all the way up to 7, 8, 9 and 10 already.
Well, a brilliant piece of work there, and it just shows when carnage happens, it does benefit some drivers. And for the likes of Pete Newman, who is trying to hound the back of McLeod-Evans there, he is going to try everything he can. McIntyre, Simpson, Everett, those are your 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10 at the moment. And there is a car running wide there, and that's Rick Scott, who is a lap down by my reckoning. So he's just getting himself a little bit involved there when he shouldn't really be doing so. Probably a mistake, and we give him the benefit of the doubt. But these guys up ahead are actually closing down on the car in 5th position, and that is Cesare Rizzo at the moment. But back to the front then. Roy Vervaeke is actually closing the gap down on Adam Hadfield now. And this is going to be your battle for the race lead. And this is everything that you all want to see it to be, Roy.
Yep, that close racing at the front, that's what we want. Same as with McLeod Evans we were talking about earlier, needed to make the most of the opportunity. These guys have got to try and stay away and stay ahead.
Oh, contact!
And they've hit each other in the...
Yes, they do. Contact there. Hadfield making contact with Vervaeke. Well, the other way around. But this is shaking up the field because it's Diogo Melro who will now pick up the lead. And, well, he came in from very far deep there, did Roy Vervaeke. And that was not ideal in any form of circumstance. He retained second place for the moment, but how much will that change things? Looking back, Cesare Rizzo has been overtaken by Pete Newman, who has got the red mist down because he is looking to try and push. And now Cesare Rizzo will have to defend from McLeod Evans and Jack McIntyre behind here, Roy.
Yeah, curse of the commentator there, I think, going into that corner. They hit each other, just as I was saying, they need to stay out and make the most of the opportunity. Pete Newman already up to 6, the pace he's got. Who would put it past him, even with the reverse grid, to not come all the way through and win this one as well?
Well, he does have a lot of time to try and make up on the leading pack at the moment. McIntyre in the 16, looking to try and beat a way around Craig McLeod Evans there in the 13 machine, I do beg your pardon, but still trying to fight his way through. He's right over that bumper. And he's trying absolutely everything to get himself alongside. And nope, not having it at the moment. But there is an advantage here. He's going to try and go for the inside into this left-hander of the chicane. And well, he is going to do it. They are going to touch, but they keep it together. And that is disadvantage then to Jack McIntyre, who loses the place to Nathaniel Simpson, who will try and have a dive into the final corner. No, not quite close enough. What did you make of that one?
Hectic stuff.
Oh,
obviously the front four from last time, desperate to get up to the front as soon as they can, but maybe they should just take it a little bit easier in the chicanes.
Yes, maybe so, but already Pete Newman into 5th from 22nd, last on the grid. So he is trying absolutely everything possible in order to close that gap down, in order to put himself in a position where he can push for the race win. Right now he has the car ahead of him of Stephen Baxter up ahead of him. So this is going to be the one to look out for, because when they crossed the line the gap was 2.2 seconds. That does not look like 2.2 seconds to me anymore. That looks like that is overtaking range for Pete Newman over Stephen Baxter, if I can get my words out properly here. But at the moment it just looks like at the front Diogo Melro is starting to pull away.
Yeah, it's looking good for him. As you say, Newman I think is going to be all over Baxter any second now. McIntyre is not far behind, so although Pete Newman could be on for another win, he could still have to deal with Jack McIntyre again when they get to the late laps of this race.
Yes, and Pete Newman now will run side by side with Baxter at the moment here as they head up through towards the left-hander of the chicane. It looks like he's not going to give this one up, is Stephen Baxter, and why wouldn't he? Goes into the corner, going to try and go around the outside here. This was similar to his move on the final lap of race 1. And well, they're going to stay side by side now into the final corner. Newman going to try and run the wide line, and it looks like he might have to hold it, and he will hold it again. They're going to be side by side once again down his front straightaway, and now Pete Newman sorts to move out up into 4th position. But the battle for second, though, is what we are going to focus on now, because it looks like Roy Vervaeke and Adam Hadfield are going to be going for round number 2 between them. They have caught each other up, but now the gap at the front, 2.2 seconds between Vervaeke and Melro here, Roy.
Melro actually looking really good. Obviously we talked about the guys who were top 4 in the last race and the pure pace they've got, but that lead is a very, very handy lead for Melro. Will it be enough? Who can tell? Could be.
It very much could be, but we are heading up towards halfway in this race at the moment, so we will update you on your movers and shakers in the grid. Diogo Melro leads, Roy Vervaeke in 2nd with Adam Hadfield in 3rd, who starts on the front row. Pete Newman in 4th with Stephen Baxter 5th, McIntyre 6th, Cesare Rizzo 7th, Craig McLeod Evans in 8th. Let's just look now back down at Craig McLeod Evans, who has actually lost his position now to Nathaniel Simpson, who moves himself up to 8th position overall. And well, Nathaniel Simpson had an okay opening race. He did finish in the top 3. Now he's got to stay with Cesare Rizzo ahead of him and make sure he can stay with Jack McIntyre in order to keep this race one going here, Roy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, this battling is surely intense, and Pete Newman is going to try and catch up, but we are going to stay with Adam Hadfield and Roy Vervaeke right now. The gap between them, well, it's probably going to be quite close. They are very similar in pace from what I can work out. And well, this is your battle for second place. This is for the final 2 steps on the podium at the moment. And it seems that the damage possibly on Adam Hadfield there on the rear is not going to help there. As you can see, car pulled up there to get out of the way of the traffic. That is Rick Scott once again. So it's not everything his own way, and I do have to say something here. Pete Newman is not pulling away from Stephen Baxter by any stretch of the imagination, so he's going to have to take the dancing part there. He might just have to tango with him in order to pull himself back to Hadfield and Vervaeke there, Roy.
Yeah, great work from Rick Scott there. He's massively off the pace. Don't know what was happening with him on that previous lap, but he went really slowly for many laps in a row. Wondered whether he had to slow down, but it can't have been because it was for too long. He got out of the way of the lead 3 there. And yeah, the gap to Melrose gap back to those 2nd and 3rd, it's shrunk again.
Oh yes, it has. It's dropped 2/10 that time by. Let's look back down your field then and see this battle for 15th position then. This is Lorne Murray up ahead of Stephen Hall at the moment in the 38 machine. And well, it's going to be a Scottish car and a Welsh car, and we're going to see if there is anything down into the Dunlop hairpin. Well, no, not this time by, but it does suck you in, that hairpin. It is deceptively easy because you run it in and then it's so very simple to spit your car out as well. And there's a 3-car battle ahead of them. Reinke, Pettersson and Stevens. It looks like Pettersson has just run wide there, Roy.
Yeah, they're quite tight still, especially the front 2 with Kip Stevens there and Pettersson through the chicane. Could be interesting.
Oh,
Pettersson
yes.
looked quicker, but I think he braked a little earlier, yeah, because he's closed up to a guy behind him as well, Reinke.
Yeah, Zach Reinke there, closing the gap then on Klaus Peterson, braking a little bit early, just missing his brake point just a little bit. This is your battle for 12th position on the circuit, and as we say that, they're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. Reinke will go side by side with Klaus Peterson here, and well, this is going to be a race into turn number 1. They're side by side still, and pretty much neck to neck into turn number 1 they will come along. Battle of the brakes, last of the late breakers, and well, Reinke will win that one out. Wow. Well, let's look further back down your field, and it looks like Nathaniel Simpson's found a way through on McLeod Evans, and he'll be trying to chase down Jack McIntyre, who's actually caught Stephen Baxter there now. So this is your battle for 4th position at the moment. And well, you have to say Jack McIntyre is arguably one of the quickest drivers in this field right now, Roy. And you have to think, with just one guy ahead of him to Pete Newman, he will really want to be chomping at the bit to try and make the move sorted.
Absolutely. The gap that Newman has pulled out, and in fact, with clear air ahead of him, you would have expected him to pull out a gap on McIntyre with traffic to deal with. But McIntyre's going to be right behind him soon.
Oh, yes, he is, because he's going to try and go around the outside of Baxter. And, oh, yes, he's going to make that one look very, very easy. Great craft work there from Jack McIntyre, who's now going to try and push himself onto the back of Pete Newman, who himself is trying to catch the leading trio at the moment. The advantage for Diogo Melro is he does have some traffic ahead of him, and that is the 66 of Kenneth Wallace, who started off in 4th and had that incident just before corner number 1 on the circuit into the Castrol S. It hasn't worked out for him today, and well, he'll have to hope that race 3's reverse grid will surely help him to score any chance of decent points. So, at the moment, Diogo Melro, Roy Vervaeke and Adam Hadfield, that is your leading 3 right now, but this battle for 4th position now is surely hotting up because Pete Newman is being caught by Jack McIntyre, Roy.
Yeah, we could have an interesting concertina effect soon. I'm not sure how much experience Melro will have of dealing with back markers while leading a race, and in the meantime, while he has to deal with that and the front 3 might close up, These two are moving very, very rapidly in 4th and 5th. They could be on the back of that front 3 in a very short amount of time.
Yes, they are, but time is not their friend at the moment. We have just about 5 or 6 minutes left in this second race at the moment, and this battle for 4th position on track is surely going to be the one we are going to focus on just for the time being. McIntyre and Newman, round number 2, and this time it will be McIntyre who will be trying to push himself through against Pete Newman's car right now. Into the right-hander they will come along, and it looks like, from my perspective, that Adam Hadfield there really isn't having all of it at the moment. He seems slower than he has been on previous lap times by. We're just going to do a comparison of the leaders to Diogo Melro when they cross the line at the moment. Well, I should say Pete Newman into the chicane. He comes along, and, well, McIntyre has firmly cemented himself there. He might have the advantage into turn number 1. We'll see what happens here. Into the final corner then, these two will come along here with just a few minutes left of this race to go, and they will be just waiting to see what will happen. Lap time for Pete Newman that time by was a 1:48.8. Look at the front, it was Diogo Melro doing a 1:49.3, so that does not look sufficient for Pete Newman to catch up there, Roy.
No, possibly not. The front 3 all got past the back marker as well in the meantime. Wallace, I think it was, that was holding them up slightly, which is, it spread that front 3 out, and now you've got Newman and McIntyre all over each other, with Wallace coming up right in front of them.
Oh yes, absolutely. We just have a few minutes left, and Kenneth Wallace should move out of the way right now of Pete Newman and, of course, Jack McIntyre behind, but you're going to see he's going to reap the reward there of having Slipstream down, and they can see moving to the outside, very gentlemanly, allowing cars to pass there. Kenneth Wallace there as Jack McIntyre will now try and stay on the back of Pete Newman, and Newman's really cementing himself as a championship contender early on because he wants to win this race. He wants to get as many points as he can, and, well, this is the advantage of having incidents early on in the field. It shaked it all up, and now look at what's happened, because now McIntyre all over the back of Pete Newman now, and he'll go and try and make a move possibly. He's tucked right in underneath that Kia Optima. He tries to go for the inside, heavily defended by Pete Newman. To the outside then he goes, into the chicane they'll come along, and no, not going to have it, but he's going to try to switch back. And the switchback, he will get side by side. He gets a nose, but I don't think he's quite got enough. He might try around the outside into the final corner. He does, but no, I don't think he's got that one sorted, Roy. Great work.
Yeah, great battle in there. Good work by Wallace to get out of their way and let us see that battle completely clean. Whether they'll catch that front 3 now, I don't know, but this is intense racing.
Oh, absolutely, because they're going to remain side by side once again, and you can see just how late the braking is from the
contact, I think.
Oh, it looked like Jack McIntyre there had a little bit of contact possibly with Pete Newman. The answer is yes, they did. Both running in, 2 into 1, not going, and it seemed that McIntyre just had to yield in that situation. But McIntyre, Newman, this battle, this is ferocious. This could be your championship's contender battle. And don't forget the battle behind, because Baxter and Simpson are together as well. And Simpson will want a piece of the action. But with just not that long to go, possibly 1 or 2 laps more, it seems that Simpson, his time is running out if he wants to catch the leading 2. Oof. Well, Roy, it has been a fantastic second race. Shame about the incidents early on which are shaking up the field, but this second half of the race has not failed to disappoint, and I don't think it's quite over yet. We can't say that Diogo Melro has got his first win in this series, because he still has Roy Vervaeke behind him, who is within a pouncing range of a mistake. Now, how will the nerves fare when he comes along to race?
Well, it is to lose now. Having stayed that far ahead for the whole of the race, it's a mistake from Melro that will lose him the race. But back in 4th and 5th, you were talking about the points earlier. It's so critical for Newman to stay ahead, because the points are going to be really tight. Even though they haven't made it all the way from the back to the front, McIntyre and Newman, with that incredible pace that they've got. If Newman is slightly ahead of McIntyre in each race, he just keeps building that points gap.
And as you say that, it looks like McIntyre's just got a slow down warning off of the back of the final corner. That would be the last thing he would have wanted. And, well, we see something's happened there. Well, end of the race, I do believe, because, unbeknownst to us, Diogo Melro has just won the second race of this one there. Second place goes to Roy Vervaeke, Hadfield third, Newman fourth, McIntyre fifth. Well, stands corrected there. We do have a slight issue with our timing, meaning that we don't quite know when the end of the races is, but it has been a fantastic race all round through every single driver there. Stephen Hall coming across the line, Svisra Gabor, who started off not really too well for him, and there's Ashley Blake Hood, who did come in for pits, didn't quite have everything sorted. So let's just run you through your race results then for you, and it is Diogo Melro who takes the win from Roy Vervaeke, Adam Hadfield there in third after starting on the front row, and a great job from Pete Newman, up 18 positions to get himself into position number 4. We're going to step aside for a few moments, and when we come back we'll have interviews with Diogo Melro, hopefully, but most certainly we will have an interview with Pete Newman. Don't go away.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back then to the BSR Kia World Series here. We've just finished race 2 and we are joined in the commentary box right now by your race 1 winner and your race 2 4th place finisher, Pete Newman. Pete, of course, we'll go back to race 1 and think, wow, what a fantastic race that you had. You did a stunning job holding off Jack McIntyre. Just what was going through your head for your final few laps?
Well, it was obviously don't get a slowdown penalty, and then I got a slowdown penalty. So, you know, worked out well because me and Jack ended up having a cracking final lap. And it's a little bit of a shame that the iRacing slowdown system kind of ruined what could have been an epic finish to a race. But, you know, it was what it was, and I ended up taking the win. So I was pretty pleased to beat Jack considering his pace. And obviously just having this race then, he caught back up with me after he got stuck in a bit of traffic, and for the last 2 or 3 laps I was able to hold him off again. You know, we've definitely had some quality racing over these last few races, so hopefully race number 3 is just going to be as epic.
Oh yes, I do have to agree with you there, but coming into the second race, of course it is a reverse grid. You were having to start at the back of the field, which is always a disadvantage when it comes to racing here with a reverse grid setup. The first 2 laps were really hectic and it was kind of pick and choose your way through in order to try and find yourself the right way through. Just describe your first 2 laps for you then, just how difficult it was for you.
Well, just before I came in here, we were kind of me and Ashley Blakehead were just saying it was like the parting of the seas, because there's a few cars just going here, off in pretty much every corner. So it was kind of, you know, keep your wits about yourself, don't overdrive the car, and make sure that you could, you know, move wherever you need to be on the track, and you know, at a moment's notice, because obviously with these Kias you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, definitely not. And of course, towards the end of your race, you found yourself up in 4th, and we had what I do believe was Newman McIntyre 2, if I am correct. Just trying to find yourself in the end of the race. Just it was a shorter race than last time. It looked like you caught the finish line just before time ran out. So just if one more lap did happen, do you think you could have held him off, or?
Possibly, although to be honest, he's just so fast that I probably wouldn't have been able to put up much of a fight for much longer. And you know, I wouldn't want to wreck either of us. We've been having a good night tonight, and you know, one place is not really worth it to wreck us out. But obviously, I want to stamp my authority on the championship and try and get that sort of I don't know. I'm completely stumped for words now.
Oh, it's all right. Get the advantage and make sure you have the psychological one as well.
That's the one. So I've psyched myself out with that because I couldn't even say it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Pete, for joining us. We don't have Diogo Melro joining us in the commentary box for his interview. It seems that the language barrier does seem to be a little bit of a problem when I don't know any Italian. So we will be back in a couple of minutes, and when we do, the final race of the night, the 3rd race out of 3 at the Nurburgring GP. Stay with us, don't go away. This is all going to get tense.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, You can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's gonna be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the BSR Kia World Series. This is round number 1 from the Nurburgring. Here, the Grand Prix course, of course, without the Mercedes-Benz Arena complex. So, we've had 2 races. We are on to the 3rd. And something to note that we didn't point out earlier, Roy, is the fact that Discovery have won both opening races so far today.
Yep, excellent start for them. It is, of course, a team championship. It doesn't really get better than 2 first places, especially with Newman getting a 1 and a 4 as well. Not quite sure exactly how things pan out with everything else, but Discovery off to a great start.
Oh yes, absolutely. Practice will be over in about half a minute's time, then we'll see cars getting over to the grid, and once we see them getting to the grid, we will give you a full rundown of your starting grid for this, the 3rd race out of your triple header, the final race of the evening, of course, to start off everything in this season. So, everything to play for, everything is still on the table, but for Pete Newman, he has cemented himself in that 58 machine as being the man on a mission to try and sort everything out right now. So, practice is over. We will get for you in just 1 moment's time a full grid of where everyone lines up then for the 3rd and final race of this one. Of course, we're streaming live on iRacing Live, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. I'm Jake Sparey. I'm joined by Roy Frost, of course. And, well, here is your grid then. So, Kenneth Wallace will start on pole position with Colin McAllister alongside him on row 1. Ashley Blake Hood, the independent driver, will start 3rd on the grid with Sifra Gabor there in 4th. It's Stephen Hall in 5th with Lorne Murray there, joining him on row 3. Klaus Pettersson in 7th with Jörg Dankert there, the German, in 8th. Zach Reinke there in 9th for the Americans with Kip Stevens 10th. Cesario Rizzo there in 11th with Alex Everett 12th. Craig McLeod Evans there in 13th. Stephen Bax there on row 7. Row 8, Nathaniel Simpson and Jack McIntyre with Pete Newman, your race 1 winner there in 17th. Adam Hadfield 18th. Roy Vervaker is 19th with Dioko Melro, your race winner in 20th. 21st, Rick Scott. 22nd, Max Wright. The cars are waiting to grid up here, and engines are revving. We have a green flag, and the night is done, and we have a car that has not got off on the start line, and that one is, I believe, Lorne Murray there. He had an awful getaway. He has managed to get away. Are they all clean to turn 1? Answer no. Already we've had some contact there in the back, and that looks like, I don't quite know who it is, but we'll try and get a picture of that one for you. It's Nathaniel Simpson, of all people, who's gone around. And, well, we talk about dodging minefields, Roy, and already minefields are being blown up left and right in contact. Already with Alex Everett there involved with, I believe, Klaus Peterson, and big crash there. That's a scary one.
Yeah, massive crash. We had a 2-car roadblock across the circuit there. The front 3 or 4 have got away, and it's just mayhem at the back here.
It seems that Craig McLeod Evans there getting involved in that one, going sky high a mile. But with everything said and done, this has changed the perspective of the field just this little bit. The car out and away, out in the lead at the moment. It's Ashley Blake Hood in the 61, the Independence driver, has found himself in the lead, and a lead by quite a bit of a margin, at least a second, to Sifra Gabor there behind him. Stephen Hall will find himself 3rd on track at the moment, as Alex Everett has already made 8 places off the start. Kip Stevens there is 5th with, wow, Pete Newman in 6th. What a moment, and he's going to go side by side with Kip Stevens right now. He's going to make this one look easy. So, Pete Newman once again finding the dream start and putting himself up into 5th position on circuit in the Discovery team.
Newman proving in the last 2 races absolute master as finding his way through the carnage and getting up into the thick of the racing action instead of the crashing action.
Yes, he is. We're going to look at this battle for second because Sifra Gabor is under threat from Stephen Hall. They're going to go side by side. The Welsh car will go through on the inside there, but he's going to run it a bit deep, which will compromise his run for turn number 2, and the undercut will work for Sifra Gabor, and well, it will join up, and it will be 2 Welsh cars, 2 Chimru cars, if I can say it correctly, which I probably can't, because now Alex Everett, you can arguably say the quicker driver, is there in 4th position right now. So, just a quick rundown of your top 5 at the moment. Blake Hood, Gabor, Hall, Everett, and Pete Newman in 5th position. Let's look back down your field and see if anything is going on at the moment. Let's look at your number 10 machine. This is Rick Scott, whose number keeps consistently changing here and there at the moment, and he's chasing down Roy Vervaker, who had a good showing there in the second race that we had here today. And well, Roy, you have to say that there is a battle going up further ahead, and it looks like Jack McIntyre involved with Zach Reinke and Diogo Melro, your race 2 winner.
Yeah, I've just been watching that one a few corners ago. I'd hate to say that it might be team tactics in effect, but Rizzo and Melro, both on the same team as Pete Newman, at one point had McIntyre boxed onto the outside of a corner. He's got past one of them, he's got another to get, and Newman is getting away.
Yes, and the fact that Pete Newman's getting away, this is fantastic team tactics by the Discovery cars. Of course, they are working themselves extremely hard to try and make sure, and as we say that, McIntyre's going to go to the inside for the final corner of the Coca-Cola curve here in the opening stages of your 3rd race, and he's going to make the move sorted there on Cesare Rizzo, but Rizzo will try and get the cutback, and just behind him there, 2x2, Diogo Melro and Zach Reinke. They want to battle 4-1-2 car there, and well, it looks like Cesare Rizzo is trying everything to get back to Jack McIntyre into turn number 1. They will come along, and well, it looks like McIntyre's got the move sorted, but look at it all sorted. No, it's not. Rizzo still trying to make his life very difficult there into turn number 2, but it looks like the move is done and dusted. But look at the battle for second up front now, because Everett is hounding Sifra Gabor there up ahead of him, but Pete Newman's now on the back. It's a 4-car train in the battle for second, but Blake Hood is away by 5 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, and talking to guys who've picked their way through the field, Alex Everett this time is the one furthest up of the guys who were fastest in race 1. He's up into 3rd already.
Oh yes, he is, and he is really hounding the back of that car of Sifra Gabor in the England machine right now. So, flicking himself through the Schumacher S, and now Pete Newman on the back. It's 2 Welsh cars, which will be advantage Everett, and there you can see Pete Newman down the inside, runs it a bit too deep though, and there could be an opportunity for a cutback there with Stephen Hall, but no, it doesn't materialise. So diving down the inside there, a bit rash there, a bit desperate from Pete Newman, but he has managed to make the move sorted as they head through this kink right. Now we look at Alex Everett here in the 29 machine. Will he go to the inside? Answer to that one is yes, but has he made the move sorted? Answer to that one is no. But this closes up. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between Pete Newman there and Alex Everett there. Just wasn't thinking it, but he's still going to have a go down into the Coca-Cola curve. You can't catch your breath because he's going to move up into 3rd position, but it's not all sorted yet, Roy.
No, great driving there. Brilliant driving by Newman. And Everett. Clean. Mostly.
Mostly it is, but it's not going to be 3 wide into turn number 1 because Newman will try and defend the inside line, and he tags the back! He tags the back of Sifra Gabor, and that's the last thing he wanted to do, because this allows the Welsh guys forward, and this allows Jack McIntyre to score some crucial points. What an awful incident that was. He just braked a little bit too deep, and it didn't quite work out. So, back with Alex Everett then. He is up into 2nd position once again, but all of this is allowing Ashley Blake Hood to drive a controlling race, a Vettel-esque race at the front, because he is breaking away with some aplomb.
Yeah, we've got a front 4 or 5 pulling away now, but everything closed right up again after those. There were 2 incidents. There was another one after the Newman incident. Cesare Rizzo got into a little bit of trouble as well, almost made a one-man roadblock. and closed everyone up behind them.
Yes, he did. I'm just trying to see if there's any damage on Pete Newman's 58 machine at the moment, and from where I can see it, I do not think he has anything to worry about at the moment. So, still a lot of racing to be had, but we are going to flick ourselves up through the field because there is a 3-car battle here for second, third, and fourth on track. And it looks like McIntyre goes Danny inside of one of them. And that one was Stephen Hall. And now McIntyre will now try and attack Alex Everett here. This is the battle for second place because Ashley Blake Hood is pulling away. And well, this is where your racing is. This is what you wake up and dream when you want to see close wheel-to-wheel battling. This is exactly what you want to see. The gap to the front is almost 10 seconds already there.
Yeah, that's a big gap. The two guys in second and third, the pace that they've got, they can definitely bring that in. It all depends on how much fighting they do.
Exactly, and there you can see running himself through into second place at the moment, Jack McIntyre, but Alex Everett will still want a piece of the action, but he can't quite get it sorted. He will try again to go for the inside of turn number 3. He's given the room, but he can't get the move sorted there, hung up on the curb. And so it will be down to Jack McIntyre to close down Ashley Blake Hood up ahead, but just looking back down your field at the moment, it seems Pete Newman has dropped to 8th position after being in a battle for second place on circuit. So it's not all plain sailing at the moment. So let's look at the number 15 machine of Cesare Rizzo right now. Another Team Discovery car. He's got Adam Hadfield ahead of him, who has made his way through, and you can say that he's going deep, and they make contact side by side, sliding everywhere. And you have to say Cesare Rizzo is very lucky to keep that car on the island, but all this has done is allowed Wallace and Dankert behind to close the gap in order to try and make sure this race gets a lot heated in the lower half of your top 20 right now here, Roy.
Yeah, you spoke of the red mist earlier. That Rizzo Hadfield battle in the last lap, there was contact at least twice as well. They're really going for it. What a battle those two are having.
Oh yes, absolutely. But who can take your eyes off the battle for second down through 5th at the moment? Because this is where the money points are coming from. Kip Stevens there in 5th position in the number 5 machine. He'll be looking to try and get onto the back of Stephen Hall down this main straightaway. But we talk about the slipstream and just how advantageous it can be when you're in this train. Everett still trying to hold on to Jack McIntyre, who does a 1:48.2 that time by, matches Ashley Blake Hood lap for lap, who has Klaus Peterson ahead of him. But right now, Kip Stevens will have to say, if anything happens in the front, he will be the one who gets most advantage from it, because he will try and catch down Stephen Hall ahead. Oof, well, we're just going to look now back down at the 66 machine of Kenneth Wallace right now, because he is in, or was in, a heated battle with the car behind him of Jurg Dankert and Adam Hadfield. Looks like Hadfield is starting to close in on these two, and that is exactly what is wanted there, Roy.
Yep.
Yeah, but it seems that we do...
Sorry, I've concentrated on something else there. Sorry.
No, it's all right, because we do have a couple of cars who are out of this race at the moment, and it seems that we have lost Craig McLeod Evans. He's gone down a lap. Klaus Peterson is about to go down a lap. Colin McAllister all the way back down the field. Same for Sifra Gabor. He hasn't had the best of races so far today. The field has started to spread itself out here as we hit about halfway in this race at the moment, but Pete Newman has to deal with Zach Reinke, who is up ahead of him. So Pete Newman on a charge, you can argue, and up ahead of Reinke is Diogo Melro, who won the second race this time here. And it looks like Pete Newman gets a slowdown penalty at the worst possible time. All that effort there has to be done again. Reinke and Melro down to 2 in the battle for 6th here, Roy.
Yeah, things are starting to spread out all throughout the field now. The only thing that's probably likely to close up is at the front. Our first place man is going to be reeled in by those two guys in second and third.
Well, it is debatable. There is not really too much time, and the gap is 10 seconds. We were talking about 3 or 5 seconds being this gap, which didn't close down when we saw it in race 1 and 2. So I think Ashley Blake Hood is out and away, barring mistakes. Right now, Alex Everett and Stephen Hall will be looking to try and cement some points for the Chimru team, because I can't say that name correctly, but they are in a position where they are going to get some solid scores to try and close down this gap on the Discovery team. Reinke, we will focus on in the 4-1-2, trying to close down on Diogo Melro here in the Discovery car. Right around the Dunlop hairpin, they come along. Heading towards the Schumacher S, they will come along now. And, well, you can see Reinke now. He's just trying to stay close underneath that gearbox of Diogo Melro right now in the number 3 machine. And, well, if he gets the good run here, Roy, he will have an advantage heading up in towards the chicane.
Yeah, exactly what you want.
Oh, yes, I do have to agree with you now, as Reinke just gets a little bit of a slide there. The smoke kicking out, bellowing from those Kia Optima tyres. Of course, it's not exactly perfect what you get from it, but this is all the battle that you want to see, all the battle that you want into the chicane, and these two will come along, and nothing doing this time by here on the end of their 7th lap of this race. Of course, we do have just a few more laps to go. Lap times around here, around the late 1:48s at the moment, and just see what lap times these guys are doing up ahead. Zach Reinke coming across the line does a 1:49.3 that time by. If you look at the guys ahead, you look at Jack McIntyre, he did a 1:48 flat. What a lap time, Jack McIntyre. You know he's not going to give up on this one. Ashley Blake Hood only did a 1:49 flat. That is a whole second this time by, but I think it's not quite going to work out for him, Roy.
No, I think the gap is too big. I wasn't so sure earlier. I thought they might have been able to catch him, but he's worked his way through the back markers quite well. The guys behind were battling. If McIntyre had been able to pull out those 1 second a lap faster laps a little bit earlier, maybe it would happen, but I think you were right. It's Ashley Blake Hood's all the way unless he makes a mistake in some way.
Yes, of course. Now we're going to focus now on the 246 machine of Jörg Danker, now finding himself in a battle for 11th position on circuit here. He has Adam Hadfield ahead of him, who had a good run for a section in the opening of, well, the second race of the trio that we've had today. And, well, Jörg Danker, for him, it's all about getting experience. He's one of the newer guys to iRacing. He's one of the newer guys to the BSR. And he'll be looking to try and improve with every single race. You can call him, if you see in the main series, you can call him one of the amateur classes or what have you. But he is doing a great job, Roy. And I have to say, any race result where you're finishing all 3 races is valuable experience going into the next few races further on down the calendar.
Yeah, certainly is. And that of course, is the point of this series. It's a development series, almost a feeder series into the other BSR. But there is mixed ability. The guys like Jörg Danker, they've got to mix it up with Pete Newman, even if it isn't for lap after lap after lap. They get to see a full range all the way up to the blistering speed of McIntyre out there near the front.
Now, yes, they do. But interesting to note now is that Stephen Hall is right on the back of his teammate Alex Everett. Maybe he has something to prove right now. He wants to be up with his teammate fighting maybe for a podium, because it's not concrete. And Jack McIntyre once again puts in a stunning lap of 48.1 compared to Blake Hood's 48.9 that time by. So another 8/10 coming out. But the time is always going to be the weakness, because we only have about 5 minutes left to go in this race. But Stephen Hall now is still on the back of Alex Everett. I think they might be holding stations. I'm just not quite sure there, Roy.
Yeah, it does look that way. And I don't think McIntyre's going to catch anyone. Well, there's only one back marker between him and Ashley Blake Hood now, but I think the gap is too big with not quite enough time for him to make up that difference.
Yeah, you do have to say. There is a big rift, though, between your opening 9 and the rest of the field right now. Just here's your cars who are laps down. You've got Sifra Gabor involved in an incident with Pete Newman. Of course, we've got Craig McLeod Evans, who had this massive incident in lap 1. Same with Colin McAllister, same with Klaus Peterson. So, quite a few cars find themselves down on laps, quite a few down on time as well. But for Pete Newman, who had a fantastic opening 2 races, well, you wouldn't want to say he's tarnished it, but he has thrown away a potential of a second podium today. And, well, he's not going to feel happy for it, but it looks like Zach Reinker's just had a slowdown, and he's going to have to be very careful because Pete Newman's just going to come storming past there, Roy.
Yeah, freebies for Newman. Another interesting racer that we've got out there, though. You were talking about the back markers and the people at the very end of the race there. Someone in 15th, Nathaniel Simpson, has been nursing an extremely sick car around almost since the beginning, but isn't right at the back. He's picked up places, perhaps.
Oh yes, most certainly he has. He's found a way through on Wright, Murray and Baxter, and now Cesario Rizzo will be the car ahead of him, who is fighting Kenneth Wallace of the USA team right now. So, everything still to play for, everything still up for grabs as Rizzo looks to try and go around the outside of Kenneth Wallace, trying to set him up, going for the tighter line out on the exit, and it's not quite worked that time by there in the battle for 13th position on circuit. But we are just going to flick ourselves back through the field, see if we find any battles, and we will, because Kip Stevens now back on the back in the 5 machine. He's on the back of Stephen Hall once again, and this could be advantage here for the Bermuda team if Kip Stevens can find a way through here at the Nurburgring. He can take that crucial momentum going into rounds 4, 5 and 6 of this series in just 1 week's time. But at the moment, it doesn't seem that he's quite close enough. We are at the stage where we have about 1 or 2 laps to go. Can't quite be certain at the moment, but Ashley Blake Hood crossing the line at the moment does a 1:49 flat. Look at Jack McIntyre behind. He's putting in qualifying laps. That's a 48 flat gap down to 5.7. You have to credit him. He is trying, but it is too late for him. But looking back at Kip Stevens, it looks like he might just be a little bit too far. And the slipstream helping here. 2 Welsh team drivers there working themselves together to make sure they cement 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, it's good to have teamwork. Unusual for the Kia Racing, although obviously there are teams in the other series, but this is specifically team-based. The 2 Welsh guys doing quite well there.
Oh yes, absolutely. I have to agree with you right now, but we are going to focus on this one for the moment. There's not really too much there. Big plume of smoke coming out there from Kip Stevens. He's trying to wrangle that car around every corner to make sure that he has it all sorted, but at the moment it's just not quite enough to put himself onto the back because these guys are driving at their absolute limits to make sure that everything is going to stay neat and tidy, hunky-dory. But heading through these Schumacher S's right now, Stevens, I don't think he's close enough, but can Stephen Hall maybe upset the party of Alex Everett? Everett, an extremely quick driver. We've seen him already do well so far, and as we say that, Everett runs a little bit wide. This will allow Stephen Hall to close up. Same with Kip Stevens. So everything still to play for. The slipstream, it is there for Stephen Hall. He might move to the inside. He might just hold station. Not quite sure. Nope, he's going to hold station at the moment, but this does allow Kip Stevens to close up at exactly the wrong time for him. Looking at Ashley Blake Hood now coming through. Will he have 1 more lap to go? The answer to that one is yes, he does. He has 1 more lap to go of this circuit in order to call himself the winner of the 3rd round of the BSR Kia World Championship right now. And Everett will have to be careful as well because Stephen Hall is not going to let go, but he does brake earlier, and this will allow Kip Stevens to close right up. And this is a dangerous game being the guy in the middle, Roy, because you have to worry about the car ahead and equally worry about the car behind.
Yeah, you've got to know exactly what's going on all around you there, and this is our best battle coming to the end of this race. Battle for 3rd. Could go any way with these 3. The chicane on the back straight there could be the key point for this one.
Oh yes, absolutely. I do have to agree with you, but we will cut away to your race leader for the final half a lap. Ashley Blake Hood, he has done a sensational job starting off from 3rd on the grid. He rid out the challenges on the opening lap. He rid out all the dramas, all the battles, all the contact that was done, and he pulled away and made sure that he had enough of a gap to hold off Jack McIntyre behind. It's not the most glamorous of victories, but a victory is a victory nevertheless. He just has 3 more corners to go. The independent driver who does not have a team for him at the moment. Well, after this showing, he'll certainly want some attention after that. Ashley Blake Hood rounds himself through the chicane. He'll have one more corner to go, and he will be the third different winner in the opening 3 rounds. Ashley Blake Hood, with a Vettel-esque drive, will take the win, will take the flag here at the one, the only Nurburgring GP. It's Jack McIntyre in second place, and Kip Stevens has got through on Stephen Hall on the final lap. And well, it's down 3, 4 and 5 there for you. Melrose in 6th, and Pete Newman will come home in 7th. But you have to say, Roy, it's been a fantastic 3 races here at the Nurburgring, and well, we just can't wait for it next week in 1 week's time.
Yeah, brilliant racing today. 3 different winners, lots of entertainment, some trouble, but not the massive crash fest that you can sometimes see in Kia racing. So yeah, fair play, well done to all the guys.
Oh yes, absolutely. Just looking at Adam Hadfield come across the line then in 11th position overall. Dankert there not having the best of things for him either. He'll finish 12th after starting 8th. Nathaniel Simpson, he's done well on his car to finish up in 13th position, especially with the damage he's sustained on lap 1. And Cesare Rizzo there coming across the line. So here are your official results then from the 3rd and final round here tonight at Nurburgring GP course. Ashley Blake Hood will take the win by 4.5 seconds over Jack McIntyre, who finishes 2nd place. Alex Everett will finish 3rd, with Kip Stevens making a last lap move into 4th position ahead of Stephen Hall, the 2nd of the Welsh cars. Diogo Melrose will finish 6th there after starting at the back of the grid, with Pete Newman 7th, throwing away what could have been a 2nd place finish overall. Zach Reinke will come 8th, with Roy Vervaeke 9th. Adam Hadfield rounding out your top 10, with Rick Scott finishing at 11th. Nathaniel Simpson bumped up to 12th. Cesare Rizzo 13th, with Stephen Baxter 14th. Kenneth Wallace will finish 15th, with Max Wright 16th. Jurg Dankert there 17th. Lorne Murray 18th. Peterson 19th. McLeod Evans, McAllister and Gabor rounding out your grid. So, a fantastic piece of racing all around, but we are going to drag into interview Ashley Blake Hood for you right now, and well, everything's going to be happy, everything is going to be fine. Ashley, what a fantastic race result that is for you. Light to flag for you, and well, it's been a fantastic job, it's been a fantastic race for you. Just sum up how you're feeling right now.
That's my first win in a BSR series since January last year. I'm feeling quite good about that. I don't know where this Jack fella came from, but my God, is he quick! He was pushing me the whole way. If I made a single mistake, he'd have got me. But no, I only jumped into this about 20 minutes before it was supposed to have started, and I'm glad I did.
Yes, of course, and well, lights the flag for you. You've had a very interesting few 3 races, and well, going up next is Okayama that you're heading to next. The challenges with Okayama are really something quite difficult. Of course, you've got a different type of tarmac to begin with, which is a different race surface. Do you feel that Japanese tracks suit you, or is it something that is going to be more of an advantage to the other guys?
I'll give you one guess as to where my win came from last January. Okayama, I love the place. It's boring, it's not a very good track, but I just seem to go well around there, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, of course. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for your victory today?
Mr. Ashley Sutton. He's been coaching me the last couple of weeks and teaching me how to race, and it has really helped because there were some bits that he's taught me in those 3 races, that have really helped me out. So yeah, him and my entire team from the Pro Series, and Ches for setting up this league, and it's been great fun.
Oh yes, thank you very much for us, Ashley, right now. And we're going to be joined very quickly in the booth by Alex Everett. Now, Alex, you've done a fantastic job today. You finished off your race in 3rd position. You had a fantastic battle over with Kip Stevens and your own teammate, Stephen Hall. Just describe what happened for you there.
I think I messed Stephen up a bit there. Just had stuffed tyres, so just couldn't hold on till the end. I'm surprised I managed to keep 3rd, though.
Yes, of course. And well, for you, your racing today has been a difficult one in fits and starts, you could say, because you did finish off in the mid-pack for your 2nd race, and of course your 1st race was still a very good result in itself. Just what positives are you going to be taking into Okayama?
I won't be there at Okayama, but into the rest of the season, I know I can battle up the front. I just need to find a few tenths, I reckon. Yeah.
Is there anybody you'd like to thank for your third place finish today?
Yes, definitely. Stephen and Adam Hadfield, they were great today. Absolutely great driving from both of them. And more importantly, Ches for organising this series. He's done a fantastic job.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. Now, Roy, it's been a real fantastic race, and I have to say everything has been very hunky-dory, very much brilliant racing all around. Just a couple of incidents which here and there were a bit iffy, but this is a really good showing from a developmental series looking to try and show it up in the bigger BSR events.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant start to the series. Great close racing in that first race up at the front, group of 4, all over each other, start to finish almost. Great performances by those 4 guys in the other races as well, mixing it up and coming through the field. But all the way down through the field, everyone played their part. There was some great moves, some good fighting right through. A little bit of red mist, but not too much. Not too much. A great start.
Yes, of course. And we are going to be very quickly joined by Cesare Rizzo. Cesare, well, it's not been the perfect race for you, but for your team, your team picked up 2 race wins today, and you have to think that you have the advantage now going into Okayama.
Yeah, it's been a difficult race for me tonight. Yeah, but the team's done really well. Obviously, Diogo and Pete both picking up a win, which is fantastic. I've managed to finish all 3 tonight, so I've managed to contribute something at least. But yeah, we're looking good going into the next race. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, of course. And what is really understated is that you are the man who's actually helped put this all together here for the BSR World Series. And to be perfectly honest, it's been a fantastic 3 races to A, commentate on, and B, for the audience to watch here. Were you expecting really racing this tight, this ferocious, or was it something that you think it was going to be a little bit more chilled out, a bit more relaxed, a bit more like Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton that you'd normally find in the F1 of last season?
No, I mean the guys here are all sort of up for it, and they want to win it. So the racing was always going to be up there. I mean, some of our sister series, being the Pro Series and the Club Series, some of us are a little bit more inexperienced, and but as time goes on, we're going to learn and develop, and the racing is going to get closer, the race is going to get better. As drivers, we're all going to develop more, and yeah, watch this space. It should be quite good. As for me setting it up, it is a bit of a team effort. Obviously, Alex Everett, he does a lot of help. Rick Scott, and obviously, got to mention Kip Stevens. He's helped me sort of get this up and running. I spoke to Kip in December, and he mentioned that there's an opportunity to run another series, and here we are.
Yes, of course. And of course, Okayama, the next circuit, Japanese circuit, has different tarmac, has different feel to it. It's a completely different track in terms to the Nurburgring. And do you feel that your drivers have maybe a little bit of an advantage going in, knowing the fact that you have the 2 wins, or is it going to be something that you're going to be practicing uber hard for over the next few days?
Yeah, I mean, on Mondays we have our official practice, and I know the guys are probably going to want to practice there quite a bit, because as you said, rightfully so, it is a very different track. It's very close, very tight. The setups on the cars are going to be slightly different as well. So yeah, it's one that I think everybody is going to have to put in a bit of work, a bit of practice in to try and see the lap times. Fortunately, during our sort of fun series before this started, we ran it, and it was good. People seem to like it. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's the same for everybody, really.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Ches, for joining, Cesare, for joining us today. And well, that's going to be it for your broadcasting tonight here in the Nurburgring. I've been Jake Sparey. I've been joined by Roy Frost. This has been the Kia World Series here by BSR. It's been streamed on iRacing Live by Apex Racing TV. And well, you have to say, After all that's said and done, we just got to look for a bit of a discovery, and we have. And his name is Pete Newman. Good night.